The tragic death of an NBA legend, saving a little child's life, an injury that nearly finished a guy's NBA career. Grab a box of tissues, cause today we've brought you some of the most heartbreaking moments in NBA history. And at number 10, this young lad's career ended so tragically that it left every NBA fan in tears. Oh goodness, Isaiah Austin was phenomenal. He had a long and bright future ahead. In fact, he was so good that he was expected to be the first pick in the 2014 NBA draft. But unfortunately, a medical diagnosis broke all his dreams and hopes.
After finding out the news, at first it was like a traumatic experience for me. I was like, there's no way, like my life is over, but then
I mean, everything was perfect. Isaiah was seemingly fit and healthy. Good lord. Well, 2 days before the big night, Isaiah was diagnosed with a genetic disorder, Marfan syndrome.
blood test done like a couple weeks back. My mom said they came back positive for Marfan syndrome.
This was a nightmare. Who could have thought this would happen? Isaiah was devastated. But to honor him, the commissioner did something special.
Before we continue tonight, I want to take a moment to recognize Baylor center Isaiah Austin. You may have heard about Isaiah. He is one of the nation's best collegiate players and was expected to be picked tonight before the discovery just a few days ago that he had a genetic disorder called Marfan syndrome and is no longer able to play competitive basketball. Like the other young men here tonight, Isaiah committed himself through endless hard work and dedication to a potential career as a professional basketball player, and we wanted to make sure he fulfilled at least this part of his dream. So it gives me great pleasure to say that with the next pick in the 2014 NBA Draft, the NBA selects Isaiah Austin from Baylor University.
He invited Isaiah as an honorary pick. Damn. This moment was memorable because bro received a standing ovation. Now, this could not help with his disease, but trust me, for a moment, Isaiah was living his dream once again.
It's one of the biggest blessings of my life. I've worked so hard to get to this point, and unfortunately it was taken away, but when God closes one door, he opens up another for you.
Speaking of dreams, there is one guy whose NBA career was nothing short of a dream.
With the 9th pick in the 1998 NBA Draft, the Milwaukee Bucks select Dirk Nowitzki from Würzburg, Germany.
The 7-foot-tall German sensation was picked by the Milwaukee Bucks in the 1998 NBA Draft, but he was immediately transferred to the Dallas Mavericks, a franchise that became his home. 'Cause man, Dirk stayed with the Mavericks for the rest of his career. The greatest ever power forward and one of the finest European players to step into the NBA, spent 21 seasons with the Mavericks. Good lord! He led the Mavericks to 15 playoffs, including the 2011 championship. For Mavericks fans, Dirk was family, and his farewell was going to be emotional. On April 9th, 2019, he stepped in front of the Dallas fans for one last time.
I put you guys on a hell of a ride with a lot of ups and downs, and you guys always stuck with me and supported me, so I appreciate it. And
the 14-time All-Star cried near midcourt when the second quarter was about to resume.
A 14-time NBA All-Star, selected to 12 All-NBA teams, a league MVP and an NBA champion. A 7-foot forward from Germany, number 41, Dirk Nowitzki.
You know farewells are always hard, but still, bro didn't compromise his game, as he went on to score a season high of 30 points. Damn, his farewell was emotional. But not as emotional as Luka Doncic saving a life. The same year that Dirk retired, Luka had a lot to carry on his shoulders. Oh boy, cause the Slovenian superstar wasn't only saving the Mavs, he was saving lives too. It might seem pretty ordinary, but through this little act of kindness, Luka won millions of hearts. Now, you've got to be intrigued. Well, Luka gave Chris, an ailing child, a new life. Oh man. Chris was born with a rare illness, and his condition was grave. With every second that passed by, he was moving closer to the end. It was a ticking time bomb. Then, things took a turn for the worse when doctors gave little Chris just 8 months to live if his illness wasn't treated promptly. The treatment required $2.2 million, and Chris's family did not have the resources. And this was the point where Luka came to the rescue.
I just wanted to help, poor kid, he got the whole life to live. I know the whole Slovenia stepped together and raised that money.
He was pretty quick to act. The Dallas did his best by selling off signed memorabilia and making all sorts of efforts. The funds were raised with his untiring efforts, and Chris was brought to the United States for treatment. Finally, Chris underwent a successful surgery. Luka was so happy for the family that he even invited them to one of his games. And the moment of Luka and Chris's reunion brought the entire stadium to tears. This was no different from the time when Klay Thompson made a recovery from an injury that nearly ended his career. But guys, if you feel really sad, just subscribe to the channel and check out some awesome videos. Back in 2019, Klay Thompson had been in fine touch. After the injury of Kevin Durant, Klay had been the mainstay of the Warrior squad. Klay was enjoying his life as a pro baller, when his life came to a sudden stop in Game 6 of the NBA Finals against the Raptors.
Thompson running the floor, and a foul. And Thompson grabs his left knee.
As he made an emphatic dunk, he had the worst possible landing. Within the next few seconds, Klay was lying on the ground in extreme pain. It seemed that Klay had injured his knee, but the pain told another story. The situation seemed really awful, and even the crowd knew something horrible had happened. Klay was taken to the hospital, and an MRI scan showed that the fall had ravaged his knee. His worst nightmare had come true. He had torn his ACL. The road to recovery was slow and testing. While Klay was about to make a return, he suffered from another gruesome injury that damaged his Achilles tendon.
You can see the Achilles tendon right in this area here. And as the heel goes down this way, muscle pulls up, and it basically just like pulling a piece of paper apart, it snaps.
Klay was on the bed once again, and it took him nearly 3 years to make a comeback. But his return was celebrated like a festival.
He's back! And now, in his 11th NBA season out of Washington State University, number 11, Klay Thompson!
Every point that he scored received lots of lauding and support. He made 17 points in 20 minutes against the Cavaliers that night. This was a momentous return of a hero. And you know what? Kevin Durant's MVP speech in the 13-14 season gave me similar vibes. KD seems like a badass guy. I mean, need I remind you of the time when he pushed Nikola Jokic away?
Spent the last 2 years together, and then the push, Durant of Jokic.
But in the 2013-2014 season, there was something different about this man. He averaged 32 points, 7.4 rebounds, and 5.5 assists in 81 games. In other words, the Slim Reaper was unreal. He was by far the favorite to win the MVP award, and he did. But during his winning speech, he showed the world his emotional side. Oh God, who would have thought that KD was this sentimental?
I've been through the toughest times with my family, but I'm still standing.
Oh man, someone bring me a pack of tissues. But these NBA legends keep on surprising us. I mean, just take a look at our number 5. LeBron James. The man, the myth, the legend. He made his NBA debut back in 2003. He was deemed a generational talent. A lot was expected of him. But breaking Kareem Abdul-Jabbar's point-scoring record? Who would have thought this? Oh God. After an incredible career where the King broke numerous records, on the 7th of February 2023, the day came when he had a chance to recreate history. to surpass a record that had withstood the likes of the Black Jesus, the Black Mamba, and the Great Shaq. Holy smokes! The most emotional moment of LBJ's career as he passed an unsurpassable record and changed history with a fadeaway shot from the foul line at the end of the third quarter.
LeBron James, a shot in history. LeBron stands alone!
This was the 38,377th point of LBJ's prolific career. It was witnessed by the entire world. There were tears of joy as Kareem Abdul-Jabbar joined his hands together, clapping for the king. LeBron James was finally at peace. And guess who else was at peace after pulling one of the greatest comebacks in NBA history? The Cleveland Cavaliers. This moment also features none other than the king himself. It was the 2016 championship finals. The Cavaliers were annihilated by Steph Curry and the Golden State Warriors. Cleveland had waited 52 years for the championship, but a victory seemed impossible. They were down by 1. King James and his team were slammed everywhere. Their abilities were questioned, and their loss seemed like a finality. Damn, this was sick. Well, maybe LeBron took this insult personally, because then the NBA saw one of the greatest comebacks in the history of the sport. Oh, God.
Rattles in the second. 4-point game. Timeout Golden State.
My man carried the team to the series finale, and Cleveland managed to bag a victory in overtime. Cleveland had shut the critics down and shocked the world as they lifted the trophy for the first time. It was something beautiful, a feeling that had never been experienced before. But how about suffering from an injury and still not forgetting your fans? Well, that's exactly what Gordon Hayward did. Facing the Cavs, Gordon had never imagined that he'd end up in the hospital that night. I mean, life for these ballers is a little harsh. Well, poor Hayward went for an alley-oop pass, but had an awkward landing on his left leg. And boom, Gordon was in trouble. Damn, but man, he was in some serious pain. The whole arena was shaken, and the fans were praying for his well-being. I mean, a guy who had been perfectly fit was now lying down, helpless. This was tragic. He was taken to the hospital, and during this time, the entire league was standing by his side. There were text messages and well wishes and whatnot. In the next Celtics game, this was his message.
Thank you to everyone who's having your thoughts and prayers. I'm gonna be all right.
Now guys, as we enter our top 2, you're not gonna be able to control your tears. It was the year 1993 when Michael Jordan's world came crashing down. The young lad was dominating the NBA, winning every single award, when he received the saddest news of his life. His father, James Jordan, had been murdered ruthlessly.
Most popular athletes is suffering a terrible loss tonight. The body of Michael Jordan's father has been found, and police say he was murdered. The FBI is now investigating this mysterious death.
Upon hearing this news, MJ broke into pieces. But deep down, he knew that this was not what his father wanted. So, he decided it was time to make his old man proud, and so he took the Bulls to another NBA final. His team was up by 3-2, and surprisingly, Game 6 of the NBA finale came on Father's Day. There was no way MJ was losing this one. With this victory, the god of basketball won his 3rd championship. Now that's how you channel sadness. But guys, our final moment is a tragedy that tore apart the entire league. On January 26, 2020, LeBron James crossed Kobe Bryant's point-scoring tally. It was truly a memorable occasion when Kobe congratulated LBJ on Twitter. But a few hours later, all those smiles turned into tears, and the hearts that were filled with happiness were now full of sorrow. 'Cause that evening, the Black Mamba and his 13-year-old daughter were killed in a helicopter crash. And believe me, things were so downcast and despairing that even a thought of this incident brought people to tears. There were tributes from all over the world.
Kobe left nothing in the tank. He left it all on the floor.
This loss had been irreparable. That's it for today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Don't forget to dunk on that subscribe button, and until next time, take care.